നമസ്കാരം. നമ്മുടെ രാജ്യത്തെ കാർന്നു തിന്നുന്ന നമ്മുടെ യുവജനതയെ ഇല്ലാതാക്കുന്ന ലഹരി വസ്തുക്കളുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട നിയമം NDPS ആക്ട് 2021 സെപ്റ്റംബർ മാസം പാസ്സായ ഒന്നാണ്. അതുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട ഇന്ന് രാജ്യസഭയിൽ നടന്ന ചർച്ചയിൽ വളരെ ശക്തമായ വാദങ്ങളാണ് വിത്ത് ഹിസ് സ്ട്രോങ് റിമാർക്സ് ശക്തമായ വാദങ്ങളാണ് സുരേഷ് ഗോപി ഉന്നയിച്ചത്. അദ്ദേഹം ചാണക്യന്റെ അർത്ഥശാസ്ത്രം വരെ ചൂണ്ടിക്കാട്ടിക്കൊണ്ടാണ് കൃത്യമായ വാദങ്ങൾ ഈ നിയമവുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട് ഉന്നയിച്ചത്. രാജ്യസഭയിൽ പ്രതിപക്ഷ ബഹളത്തിനിടെ അദ്ദേഹം തന്റെ വാദങ്ങൾ ശക്തിയായി ഉന്നയിച്ചത് നമ്മൾ മലയാളികൾക്ക് അഭിമാനിക്കാവുന്ന കാര്യമാണ്. കേരളത്തിൽ നടക്കുന്ന മയക്കുമരുന്ന് പാർട്ടികളെ കുറിച്ചും വർദ്ധിച്ചു വരുന്ന മയക്കുമരുന്ന് കച്ചവടത്തെക്കുറിച്ചും അവ യുവാക്കളിൽ ചെലുത്തുന്ന സ്വാധീനത്തെക്കുറിച്ചും സുരേഷ് ഗോപി ഇന്ന് രാജ്യസഭയിൽ ആഞ്ഞടിച്ചു.
In support of the recommendations made through amendments in the bill related to Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act. Sir, through my thorough understanding of the NDPS Act, the main intention is to see that illicit manifestation of drugs are curbed in view of protecting the citizens of the country, culturally, medically, and in all other aspects. Sir, this has a very holy connotation with the substance of what is said in Arthashastra by Chanakya. To kill a country, to kill the prospects of a country, the probabilities of a country, its growth, you kill the culture. And this is what is exactly happening around the world, aiming, having a secret agenda for some developing nations. And as was rightly in the opening lines said by Shri Digvijay Singh, it is definitely hacking the youth of our country. Sir, I would like to make some very emotional references to some happenings which are being staged in Kerala, which is a very small state in India. Sir, the unholy manifestation of drugs, the industrialization happening in the name of drugs, wrong manifestation, drug parties. I don't want to make references to other states because it's not that I belong or I don't belong, but this is a straight understanding out of straight observation from the mishaps which have been actually dipping the whole state in tears. My straight reference is to the death, accidental death or murder of two young models, two little girls who had been to a party which was a drug party. They were almost dragged into a forced rape or prostitution. And what was the outcome? They had to find an escape route. They took the help of two young gentlemen. They fled the place, but the drug influence chased them. There was a road rage, and right in the center of the night, right in the center of the city of Kochi, and right on the center of the road, the two girls were finished, sir. You may call it an accident. You may call it a killing or a loss of life out of an accident. But it is very evident to the Kerala citizens or people of Kerala that it was a planned murder. Sir, all this is happening again and again. The very next week, we had a similar incident, minus the accident or the chase. Another pack of drug parties were brought to book. But the saddest thing is, the law enforcing system who should be taking care of such activities, handling them properly, appropriately, they are also hand in glove with such drug industrialists. So I think killing the culture of India through Kerala is killing the prospective nature of what our country should be. It is an open agenda, and that is why such substances cross our periphery from inside the country, from some states, which originates from the western region of our country through the sea coast. So I think the intention of the Narendra Modi ji government through our dear Finance Minister Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman ji, the attempt to bring in apt, appropriate amendments to this bill stands totally vindicated and acceptable to the core. Sir, I understand that this is critically important. It is critically important to discuss the illicit and licit use of drugs and the crisis related to them. To keep the mental and physical health and the social living conditions, we are going to miss out on an energetic and healthy community for the next generation if this menace, especially the illicit use of drugs, is not handled properly in a befitting manner now. So this bill, which has been brought up now in the House, stands vindicated. For that very matter, I wish to say again that I fully and wholeheartedly support the bill. However, I feel I need to raise some concerns from a certain segment of the society, which is the divine medical dispersal segment. A critical area including both the dispensing and receiving entities of licit, holy application of drugs. On the one hand is the issue that these drugs are addictive in nature, and on the other hand, the tragedy is that 98% of the ailing and deserving citizens do not have access to pain relief, which is the responsibility of the democracy. Sir, abhi aaj ude hue hain, through you, sir. Please permit me, sir. I am talking for the youth of this country, the future of this country. Please. Sir, 98% of the ailing and deserving citizens do not have access to pain relief, which is the responsibility of our democracy. And we cannot fail in that. So both these issues, the risk of addiction as well as unrelieved pain, are the menaces which need to be handled carefully. I think at least my friends in the left party should not be joining this, because Kerala is the most inflicted and affected state in the whole of India, sir, taking into consideration the volume of the state, the quantum of the state. Opioid medicines are essential for pain relief in about 75% of the people with cancer, and the data says there are about 25 lakh Indians living with cancer in our country who have the kind of pain which cannot be relieved without a morphine shot or other opioid medicines. We should be thoroughly aware of the destruction and unrelieved pain can cause. Right now, as I stand before you, there are about 10 lakh Indians reeling under pain. Anyone from a palliative care center will be able to narrate the trauma patient goes through in different ways because of pain. The instances are countless where people try to even end their lives not able to withstand pain. The numbers of those who have contemplated suicide, turned successful in their attempt or failed and returned back to life with not minimal bruises, with bruises which have presented or gifted them with thudding pain or more pain. And the numbers are alarming, sir. You have to go through every nook and corner of the country to gather the real numbers or the real data. The National Crime Records Bureau states that more than 26,000 people kill themselves every year due to health-related sufferings. In 2019, the National Medical Commission under this government has included pain management in the medical curriculum. But this knowledge acquired from faculties become useless if there is no access to these applications or medicines. Hence, it is imperative to bring safeguards to prevent inappropriate and non-medical use of opioid medicines like morphine and its variants. At the same time, we have to put in place the guardrails of necessary law, policy, and professional efficacy to ensure pain relief and palliative care to the needy. The fact that this is possible has been demonstrated in several countries, sir. Zero abuse may be an impossible dream to achieve, but these countries have achieved the principle of balance almost completely, preventing the risk of diversion from non-medical use, while at the same time ensuring the safe access to those who need it very badly. In Kerala, rational rules have been successfully implemented since 1998. More than 170 recognized medical institutions stock and dispense oral morphine for use by people in their homes. Injectable morphine and other opioids are reserved only in hospitals. There has not been a single case of diversion in the last 23 years. It is supported. I believe in it. If this is possible in a state of Kerala, one of the smallest states in India, and even a low-income country like Uganda, alongside the developed Western countries, why is that only 2% of Indians have access to proper pain relief? It is because the medical practitioners for a long time have been complaining of harassment and misdirected investigations against entities engaged in legitimate dispensation of narcotic drugs, psychotropic substances, and controlled substances. In 2012, the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Finance of the 15th Lok Sabha took note of the same and requested the Department of Revenue, Ministry of Finance to introduce appropriate amendments to Section 4142 of the NDPS Act. Even though the NDPS Act was amended in 2014 and did away with many of the needless restrictions and put in systems for access to medicines, the doctors continue to be in fear, sir. Only a small number of doctors who find this kind of pain utterly unacceptable take the potential risk and continue to deliver. Others do not want to do it. It is believed that they are more likely to be punished for attempting to treat pain and safer if they don't.
Honorable member,
Sir,
just wait for a minute. Wait for a minute. Mr. Siva, what is your point of order? No, please
நான்
continue.
படிச்சிட்டு இருக்கேன் சார். சின்னவர் சார். இங்க நான் சின்னவர். நான் கொஞ்சம் படிக்கட்டுமே சார். If a balance is to be maintained, it is suggested that certain safeguards be introduced in the procedures for search, seizure, and arrest in case of legitimate entities. This is to ensure that genuine entities like doctors are not harassed, and at the same time, illicit traffickers are proceeded against and poached as permitted by law. There exist reasonable, practical, and easy to incorporate suggestions and recommendations within the existing procedure for search, seizure, and arrest under Section 42. In the past, enforcement agencies like DRI and NCB have expressed support for the idea of separate procedure for legitimate entities. If we assure the medical fraternity of a smart, fit-for-purpose system that takes their concerns seriously, then controls will still be in place to prevent diversion, and doctors will be reassured that they will not be unnecessarily harassed or punished for indulging in their divine duty of pain management, and let the ailing lot sleep with the hope of rising the next morning and living unto death devoid of pain. Just 4 lines from the great Mahabharata to vindicate my position and stand, and the reason for my support to this initiative by the Narendra Modi government. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge.
സുരേഷ് ഗോപി ഈ വിഷയം അവതരിപ്പിച്ചുകൊണ്ടിരുന്നപ്പോൾ കേരളത്തിലെ ഇടതുപക്ഷ എംപിമാർ രാജ്യസഭയിൽ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. ഈ ഇടത് എംപിമാർ പ്രതിപക്ഷത്തിനോടൊപ്പം ചേർന്ന് ബഹളം വെച്ചതിനെ ശക്തമായി പരിഹസിച്ചും വിമർശിച്ചും കൊണ്ടാണ് സുരേഷ് ഗോപി തന്റെ വാദം പൂർത്തിയാക്കിയത്. കേരള സമൂഹത്തിനെ ബാധിക്കുന്ന, കേരളത്തിലെ യുവജനങ്ങളെ ബാധിക്കുന്ന ഒരു സുപ്രധാന വിഷയത്തെക്കുറിച്ച് ഞാൻ സംസാരിക്കുമ്പോൾ എന്റെ സുഹൃത്തുക്കളായ എംപിമാർ അതൊന്നും ഗൗനിക്കാതെ ബഹളം വയ്ക്കുന്നത് അത്യന്തം സങ്കടകരമായ അവസ്ഥയാണെന്ന് സുരേഷ് ഗോപി തുറന്നടിച്ചു. ഇരു സഭകളിലും ഈ വിഷയത്തെക്കുറിച്ച് ചർച്ചകൾ സംഘടിപ്പിക്കണമെന്നും ഈ നിയമത്തിന് കീഴിൽ വരുന്ന കാര്യങ്ങളെ പരിശോധിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് മരുന്ന് വ്യാപാരവുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ടും മരുന്ന് നിർമ്മാണ പ്രക്രിയയെക്കുറിച്ചുമൊക്കെ വിശദമായി പരിശോധിച്ചെങ്കിൽ മാത്രമേ ഈ നിയമം കാര്യക്ഷമമായി നടപ്പിലാക്കാൻ കഴിയൂ എന്നും അദ്ദേഹം പറഞ്ഞു. ഇത്രയും ശക്തിയുക്തമായി കേരളത്തിലെ വർദ്ധിച്ചു വരുന്ന മയക്കുമരുന്ന് ഉപയോഗത്തിനെതിരെയും വിൽപ്പനയ്ക്കെതിരെയും വാദിച്ച സുരേഷ് ഗോപിയെ അഭിനന്ദിക്കാതെ തരമില്ല. ഇനിയും കൂടുതൽ ശക്തമായി കേരളത്തിലെ പൊതുസമൂഹത്തിനും യുവജനങ്ങൾക്കും വേണ്ടി ശബ്ദമുയർത്താൻ അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് കഴിയട്ടെ എന്ന് ആശംസിക്കുന്നു.